Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the TechIT podcast. This is the first episode in the year 2022. I'm your host, Gregory, and I'm here with my friend Mike, here to talk about the latest in the tech news that's come around this year so far. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing this week, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good myself also. I have actually some personal announcements. I got lined up for a job already coming this July, part of this rotational program, so I'm pretty psyched about that.
Right on.
After
Right on.
after getting released back in October. So just a reminder, everyone, just to keep trying, and you always find something because the opportunities never cease.
Indeed. But what do we got in the news today, Greg?
Okay, so we got a roundup about the latest CES show, which managed to go off without any issues, COVID related or otherwise. We have a divisive battle or debate in California over what's going on in their latest solar incentives plan. And we have announcements also for Intel making a new chip factory in where I reside in Ohio, as well as security news in the world of the REvil ransomware gang, where Russia actually arrested some of them in Ukraine with the help of United States and United Kingdom associates, which it's a weird taste of symmetry there, or teamwork from three countries that don't really like each other. We got Walmart throwing its hand in the fray of metaverse news, calling it essentially old news, according to The Verge. We'll get into that, as well as a couple of videos denoting some recent things that have come about, such as Norton antivirus having its own crypto software, Holograms potentially coming out to the public, as well as Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard for those gamers out there. That's going to be a lot of IPs going into those at Microsoft and Xbox. So pretty interesting stuff coming up here.
And last but not least, we got some crypto talk. So we'll be comparing two different views on Norton Crypto Miner that it's pre-packaged in the download for Norton antivirus.
Yep.
Um so we'll be getting into that later. So let's go and get started with CES.
Yeah, so for those who are not aware, or for the folks at home, as the late Norm Macdonald would say it, the CES show is essentially a showcase for consumer electronics at its very basis of what it is. Like, just give people a taste of the latest and what's to come in the electronics market.
The
And
latest and greatest, as it were. Let's talk about the Odyssey Arc. What did you think about this monitor?
well, I'm not really one for curved monitors so far, personally, as I'm not sure how much they encompass because I personally haven't bought one yet myself, which I probably should because the monitor behind me right now, behind my laptop here, is actually older than some kids on my street.
Oh man. Well,
Oh,
let me know if you need help getting a nice monitor. I love mine. I got mine from Asus, and I love the specs. Like the brightness, the color is just so sharp. I got it was a 144 hertz, and I'm just loving it so far. But I do enjoy the curved screen on monitors. Mine is not a curved screen, but uh I think it's a nice feature to have. And this looks like it has
yep.
a pretty deep curve.
Yeah, just for any walks of whatever you use the monitor for, I think it's pretty good and has the hidden potential to just bring the best to what it can be used for. As the article here puts it at TheVerge.com, most of our articles today will come from TheVerge.com if you want to follow along or read these after our recording. There wasn't an announced price for this, however.
I'm kind of sad about that. I've been reading through. I'm like, how much is this? Do I want to get a second monitor right now? But it's a 55-inch 4K resolution. Uh, so yeah, it's pretty good specs for what we see so far. I would love to see a price though. Hopefully they come out with one soon. Can you
Yeah,
imagine having two of these babies side by side? Oh my gosh.
I can imagine this being on the posters for Cyber Monday sales in the future once everything's set in stone and more of these are put into production, which we'll get into production with the article after the CES showcase here, but yeah, I want to keep a look on this as well to just see how other people react to it in the field as well as regular consumers. And bouncing off of that, we have the e-ink paint on the BMW iX concept car. So I'm not one for cars, Mike, but what do you take away from this? As Verge called it the best concept from CES show 2022.
I really like this idea. As someone that has trouble sticking with like just one watch or like color phone case or whatever, like I get tired of stuff pretty easily. Like I'll like trade it in for something else, you know? This is great for people like me. I would love to go out to my car one day and just be like, "Oh, I feel like going with, orange today," and clicking a switch and turning it orange. Or like, "Oh, I feel like I'm having, a very like I don't know, maybe I want to go with a white car today. Maybe it's a nice day and I want to show off the I don't know, maybe I just waxed it or something." So there's a lot of potential here, and I really like what they're doing. And this is great for like if you think of it, when you go to sell your car, you put down a color and it's like, what if someone doesn't want that color but the price is right or something like that? I think this has a lot of potential.
Yeah,
Um
it could help dealerships to
yeah,
just
so
say, "Oh, we can change it."
yeah, we'll change that for you. Let me click this button or whatever. It's I think it's got a lot of potential. And let's say like you were just giving your car away to your brother or something like and you were buying a new one and they didn't like the color. They could change it. So this is great. I really like this idea. Um I kind of want to know how much this is going to bump up the price though. Like how much more is this going to be on my car when I buy it?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff, the catch with the stuff that was released at the CES show, a lot of it sometimes will not have a price attached to it. Because, like I said earlier, it's a showcase
Yeah,
with
it's a
stuff to come.
concept car,
So
but I like it. It's got a lot of potential.
the guy calls it undoubtedly cool, this Alex Kranz
Definitely
of The
cool.
Verge, which this is a monochromatic idea, which I'm not sure and of the color science of it all, how black going from black to white is like the easiest color change switch, and this guy does get worried on the fact that what does this look like after a car takes some damage?
Oh right, yeah, that's a good question.
Because I've seen some beat up cars in my time. Like I don't know anything about cars, but I've seen some beat up cars because I shop in Ohio, so there's a lot of beat up cars.
That is a good question. I know that like when I go to like a shopping center, I always park like way out in the boonies just so I don't get like because people like swing their doors open and hit the side of your doors. So like, is this one of those things where you're gonna like want to like savor the experience and park away from everybody else?
Yeah, I wonder if this will be like targeted in a way as like a car to get, like for the wrong reasons as well. Like I can see like people getting worried about that as well, but I like the concept as we talk about it more and more
I think
as
BMW should come up with a video where they
c-
just take a golf club to this car and show us what happens
just
after
associate the
snatching it.
Cybertruck.
Yeah.
It's like, look, ours is actually strong. Look, it goes from black to yellow without any damage. But moving on from that, we have the best robot that The Verge called, and for this robot shelf. What? It's
I think this is just to help people that are differently abled, right?
yeah,
Maybe they're in a wheelchair or something like that, and
it's
this
a
help.
shelf on wheels.
Yeah, helps helps them. Uh, it brings what you need to you, right?
Yeah, it's akin to. It's not the first concept for this, but like the Amazon Astro is a thing that looks like a dog. Like it can get you like a beer, or like it can get you something. but it can't open the fridge and so on. Like it can grab something that's on the floor. Like let's say you drop like your paper, your book, or like a drink, or I don't know, your hot pocket.
I think it's a cool jumping off point. Um, I think right now it's kind of basic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
if I used to have like a mini fridge in my room, so I understand the have not having to get up to get your beer or whatever. So that's kind of cool, but I think this is gonna push robots forward, and that's always a good sign.
yeah,
Just
cause
making things easier for people that are like enabled or whatever.
yeah, cause as much as like I feel like robotics are in a quote comfortable state right now
Hmm.
compared to when Terminator came out. Everyone was like, "It's gonna be like this, guys. It's gonna be like this." When in reality, what people think as robots now are just like I don't know that Tesla robot that they made and the Roombas. A lot of people just think, well, like people out there in the world that don't watch CES show, they usually think robotics in their house are mostly just like Roombas and like that iRobot dog. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Like I remember that when people said that was like the farthest thing we can do, and that was back when I was like in elementary school. But they have the best wearable here. It's a Garmin Vivo Move Sport watch, and they actually have a price for this at $180.
They do. I was excited to see a price, but I was not excited about how much it was.
No,
It looks really cool. So like it's like a digital display on top of an analog display, and it looks like it's does that look like cloth or metal like band? Well, of course, you could probably change it out, but um, it's got a very sleek, cool design, and I'm sure you can get it in different colors. Um, it's got like a light lime, maybe a light green, greenish blue here. And it
yeah,
looks pretty stylish, and then it displays a lot of cool information on the digital display. It gives you time, date. I think that's like heartbeat, like so like
steps.
beats per minute, steps, battery charge. Um, One thing that I have seen in other like watches that I'm kind of a big fan of watches. Um, I've done some research, and I'm not sure if this has wireless charging or solar charging, but I don't think so. Because one of the watches I'm looking at right now, which is like half the price, and actually it's less than half the price, it's like $80, I think. It's a solar panel face, and you can't even tell, and it just charges itself. And I'm like, that is awesome. Um, so maybe they should think about adding that as a feature. But this is a very stylish watch, and I'm seriously looking at it right now. I'm like, if this price ever comes down, picking that up.
As its sister product, the Venue 2 Plus, has a retail price of 450.
Oh, jeez.
So it does last its pluses do include in the Vivo Move Sport version we're suggesting and talking about now. It does have more battery, about 4 days according to The Verge's own review for this on one charge, which they say is longer than the Apple or Samsung watch,
Well, that's
but
good.
still below Fitbits because Fitbits are more minimalist
True
as
that.
they're trying to capture the same markets because these are supposed to be for casual users as they put it, but at the same time it's like can someone like Rafael Nadal put this on?
I think stylistically, this definitely pushes things forward here. Like if you think of the Fitbit, that's very like techy and kind of weird looking. This kind of brings like the past and the future together for something very stylish.
Good point there. And speaking about bringing the past and the future together, we have a smart door by Masonite. Now, I know smart locks. I know I have an aunt who has a bunch of security around her house. I believe she has like 3 or 4 systems, which that's a bit much just to look after your dogs and some other things in your house, but a smart door. with a
This is a
video.
really cool concept. It's an all-in-one basically for all your security and house front door needs.
Yeah, so they call the drawbacks on this, according to Jennifer Toy, who's reviewing this now. 3 apps to control the front door. But they put it as you said, Mike, as a lot of potential. As where the door can be used across for many different reasons, for not just security, but the extensiveness of this is also a bit limited as it's only available for new homes. So they can't just put it on yours or my house right now. You know, like it's
Mhm.
just like some job at Lowe's or Home Depot where it's like, yeah, I'd like it one smart door delivered to my house. Like it's not at that level yet. Again, these are concepts, but even
And
then,
I'm
new
sure in
homes
the
only.
future they'll work out the 3 app thing where it's just all in one app, which would be really cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's not far away.
this is a collaboration project between 3 companies, so just to prove as the piece puts it, it's a collaboration and interoperability are key to creating the smart homes in which we might want to live one day, which gradually we're starting to see more smart home accommodations rather than just doorbells and cameras and thermostats and those Amazon Alexas everyone has in their house. But speaking of things around the house, you might have a car in your house or opposite in the garage, but they denote a best electric car to the Chevy Equinox, which I've never owned a Chevy. Well, actually, the last car I had was an Equinox, but it was an old one where it kind of rusted away over time, long story short. But yeah, this is a ultra luxe, ultra long range Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX was showcased here, but also they had a BMW iX M60, which I don't know what those mean, but they sound like they're promising. But again, no price tags on this. Much of these products again, but this one signified the Chevy Equinox as the best piece.
I think the main point here that we need to focus on is that this is one of the least expensive of all the electronic cars,
Yeah,
and that is really good. Competitive pricing is going to continue to push down the price of electronic cars,
yeah,
and the future of electronic cars and pushing that forward is really important for the environment. So
right.
I think
Because
this is a great way forward here.
cars still make up the majority of carbon emissions. As I learned down, they have this interesting YouTube channel. But most Samsung is an award, okay, and it has NFT support now on Samsung TVs, which I don't know how personally commercial NFTs are,
That's gonna die out. It's kind of funny
but
they included it
I
though.
don't I don't see this
I'm telling you,
being a
they
very
did that just
commercial.
for the memes, right? They did that for the memes. They're like, let's include this for the memes.
Wait, it's like we like those funny monkeys that have the weird faces on them. They're on those crypto.com sites. Let's have our consumers, I don't know, trade stuff with NFTs. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this again. It's enabling the ability to view an NFT just on the TV. Okay, what?
I think they just want people to think they're hip. I don't know.
The
I think it's
ability
kind of
to browse and buy them also. Sorry. But what?
it's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Just get a computer to buy one or a phone. I don't like shopping on my TV where everyone can come in and look at what I'm doing.
I own this NFT. That so this is where you what you do. You get in your car and you like show your friends your NFTs. You're like, yo, want to
Only I
check out
can show this on something bigger.
my
Like,
Oh my gosh. it's definitely an attention grabber though. Like you can be like, oh yeah, come check out my NFTs. They're in my
It
car.
it got attention. I don't know if it's like good attention.
Is it good attention? I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of silly. Um, I don't.
Speaking of potential things that might be silly, but I don't think it is actually, as I look at it more. The Schlage Encode Plus Wi-Fi door lock. What do you think about that after we talked about the smart door and this is just a lock where you put your wristband up to it to unlock the door?
I think this is cool. I really like it. Um, especially if you're like coming in the door and you're carrying a lot of groceries. I like that.
Yeah, as well as just better accessibility as
Hmm.
we kind of went from having like remember like 15 years ago it went from let's have people able to watch TV on their phones. And then now it's switching up to no, we want back on the TV. Or at least watching streaming services on the TV. And then also be safe. So here's some safety products across IoT devices. And now with this, I'm wondering what this may come and how it's going to play into the already starting to get crowded smart home technology security lock market, which has the likes of Ring and other companies. I'm pretty sure Amazon's even making one also, just to have a lock on your door with a camera. That's like, a 360 kind of camera. So you can see if the FedEx guy is like pooping on your porch or something.
I think this is cool. I think it kind of feels like technology is moving faster than, and this is like kind of just gonna pass everyone by. I feel like this is something that if they really want to get in on uh like smart door technology, they should go pitch their idea to whoever's making that door.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for like, if you have the money to spend on it, if you got tons of money to spend, wait, is this an Apple product? Says Apple support home. Yeah, so it looks like it's Apple.
It works codependently with Apple Watches.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
I think they need to first off they need to broaden their window to all smart watches and smartphones.
hmm
I think eventually we're gonna have the door just open when you get in the proximity, like because everyone's gonna carry their phone, right? So
yeah,
when your phone gets in proximity, like a certain distance from the door, it's just gonna open for you eventually.
because we
So
already have the technology to lock houses and turn off lights when you're away from the house. You've seen those ads with where they have the smart cars and like the apps where they just lock their house just because they're worried about the car more than their kids.
so if anything, I think this is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone between uh walking up to the door and opening it with your hand, and then this is in the middle where you open it with your wrist, and then eventually you're gonna walk up and the door's just gonna open because they know it's you because it's your phone or your smartwatch or whatever the
And
device is.
yeah, and going off of that, another device to be showcased here is the TP-Link Archer X200 Omni router, where the antennas on this router will move as they are motorized. They have four motorized blades that seek out the best signal possible, as the GIF on the article is showing here.
That's cool.
And it's dynamic, I'll give it that. And the router's ready for the new Wi-Fi standard, that's 6E, which that's pretty good. Because currently I have, I think, 5E, which is already kind of old. And it's the thing with Wi-Fi standards is once you have something set, it's similar to like how everyone's used to Windows 10. And it was like, okay, this is all good and comfortable. Nothing's gonna come for a while. This is gonna be the best we'll get for a good bit, and then boom, Windows 11 comes. Now with Wi-Fi 6 and now 6E, with the 6 gigahertz radio on board with that as well, and products like this encompassing that, this really could have the push to just have more people advance to this new standard. Or rather, people already on this new standard are using the best of it already now because not many people are on the new standard currently. You know?
Agreed. And I think it just looks really stylish. I think it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
really
like
like the
when
I really like the look of it, just like the way it's designed.
it reminds me of like that movie Blade Runner.
Yeah,
Like it looks very Blade Runner-esque.
it does a
Still
little
haven't watched that movie, but because cable won't show it.
bit. Well, moving letter right along, let's go ahead and jump into uh the California's plan to slash solar incentives.
Yeah, so we all love California, right? Hotel California, Californication. Those are songs I like. Anyway, this is another piece from TheVerge.com if you want to look at this, and I'll try to link this and whatever we uploaded to as well. But there's a split on a proposal recently that was made back in December by the California PUC or California Public Utilities Commission that would slash or undercut solar incentives for customers of investor-owned utilities, implement a new monthly fee to connect to solar customers to the grid, but also it would create 16 it would create a $600 million fund to help underrepresented communities get access to solar panels and batteries. Now, as someone that's all about the efforts for technology for the environment, Mike, what's your reaction to this?
I don't think they should cut anything. I know this is gonna hurt people who are getting or have solar panels and are just gonna. So what's gonna happen is either the someone's got to give here. There already have tons of people that have solar panels and are getting solar power that way, right? And
Yeah.
selling it back to the grid. And then there's a bunch of people that don't have it, and um, they're afraid that if all these people that get the incentives that don't have it get it, that it's going to cut profits. So the
Yeah.
people that are selling it to the grid are going to get less profits from this, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of selfish. Um, I think I mean, I get where they're coming from because you don't want to lose out money,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for the sake of pushing forward uh into an eco-friendly future, I think they just need to suck it up.
So,
I know that's probably very opinionated, but um, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
hmm. Well, I'm all about accessibility and innovation. So, the more people that can have solar panels is good because the most I see on TV across the 5 channels my parents watch out of the 2000, I've only seen one ad for solar panels and they don't mention price. They just ask you to call to consolidate. That being said, I kind of like the funding to help underrepresented people.
And I
That
think
that
a lot of
statement
what
is good. That statement alone is good
and a
because
lot of what people are worried about is I think some people already invested a lot of money into the solar panels,
yeah,
um,
the
and
concern is
are
with the
worried
market
about
still.
paying it off too. So, um, usually there's like a 10-year plan for your payoff. So
Hmm.
this might increase the time it takes to pay off the solar panels.
Because
So
it
that's
costs a
off.
lot to set these up, as that's
Mhm.
what opponents of this proposal currently worry about. As I guess people are almost in tears, according to the executive director for California Solar and Storage Association. But opponents of this still, again, worry that if people don't earn as much by selling energy back to the grid, they won't be able to recoup the tens of thousands of dollars that were had to be spent and given across from the consumers to the people setting it up to install said system. So, I mean, this is a issue of like the state they're talking about. So it's not like a false issue because California has, I think, the most solar panels given its climate and given its uh consumer base as well as what kind of people live in California. As costs and the market seem to be big factors in this collectively. As the NRDC or Natural Resource Defense Council estimate that the actual value to the grid is about 5 cents per kilowatt. But after they say that, they say, but someone with a home solar system might earn 30 cents per kilowatt because they're selling it at a retail rate, which is higher because it includes costs like maintaining the grid. While non-solar customers pay between $60 to $200 more on their bills each year.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, according to this, also 1 in 3 Americans struggle to pay electricity bills. So when it's 2022 and people already can't pay power bills still, that's a problem in itself. But when it's just for solar power, and this issue is probably going to continue as deliberation continues for this proposal, I think what I want to coincide with this is that hopefully the right words go out with this as they actually made a mandate also that they're passionate to show how passionate they are for the solar power. There was a state mandate in 2020 that required newly constructed houses to include solar panels, which I don't think that exists in Ohio and Florida where me and Mike currently reside. So their focus and passion's there. And I think the deliberation will continue as this year goes along.
So hopefully they find a better way to solve the problem and cut incentives. But we'll see how that turns out. We'll keep you guys updated. Let's go ahead and jump into the new chip factories in Ohio.
Yeah, so I found this out just this week, literally just on the 21st here of January. And yeah, Intel has agreed to invest at least $20 billion in new chip factories in Ohio as more people have come to know, and we've mentioned here previously on this podcast. There's a chip shortage, and it's gonna continue because it's at fault due to us relying on a Taiwanese and Chinese company to get most of the chips out, and the whole whatever boring tariffs and trade and mistrust and what have you mess that I'm not gonna get into because we'd be here till midnight talking about
Right.
that. This is a step forward to just have companies that are in the States, in our country, to say, let's not wait. We gotta fix this now. Let's put this in Columbus. As Intel announced on the 21st of this month, just yesterday again. They said that this new site near Columbus would initially have 2 chip factories and would directly employ 3,000 people, while also making 7,000 short-term construction jobs, tens of thousands of permanent positions as well for suppliers and partners for this project. So, I kind of don't. That being said, it'd be good for the state of Ohio. I'm
Yay,
just
jobs.
as that's what everyone talks about for some reason during midterm and primary seasons. Just I'm gonna get you guys your jobs back, and then they don't get them back.
Right? Well,
And
not a lot of jobs, but hopefully this sparks other people to be like, hey, look, we need more chips. Let's build another place and another place. And hopefully we'll get plenty of chips and the chip shortage will go down and people will have their jobs and everyone will be happy, right?
as the guy who's the chief executive or new chief executive, excuse me, of Intel, Patrick Gelsinger, one of them. It says here in New York Times that he's rapidly increased the company's investments in manufacturing to help reduce our reliance on foreign chip makers after he lobbied the Congress to pass incentives to increase domestic chip production, which that's being drafted currently in the CHIPS Act, which I'm not making that up. That's the name of the act being proposed currently. But it'll be projects like this that they're going to conduct in Columbus that will make it progress go faster and bigger with the CHIPS Act, according to Mr. Gelsinger to the White House.
I can't wait to get my American-made chips. Let's go.
Which actually, our current president actually pushed for this legislation as well, which is a good sign to see his support on this.
Yay.
As he's noting how China can do everything it can to take over the global market, but I won't stand by. Chip Act time. Chips Act.
Well, this all sounds wonderful. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and jump ahead here. Let's go into the arrests in Russia of REvil members here.
Yeah, so actually, this is our security piece of the month. So I don't know if it's always good or bad when I see security news, but in this case, it's good. It's cyber criminals getting actually put to justice. So this is in the rare case of having a more or Paragon notes, as some people would call it, to themselves. Russia's Federal Security Service, or the FSB, on Friday disclosed that it has arrested several members belonging to the notorious REvil ransomware gang and neutralized its operations. That they conducted raids at at exactly 25 addresses in the cities of Moscow, St. Petersburg, Leningrad, and Lipetsk
Good
that
try.
belong
I don't think I could have done much better.
that belonged to 14 suspected members of an organized cybercrime syndicate, which hey, that's good. They found some of the authorities or some of the
The REvil.
addresses of these houses that have been conducting these said attacks, which coincides with a lot because again, these are the same people that were responsible all the way back in when we first started this podcast for attacks at the JBS meatpacking plant as well as Kaseya, which affected thousands upon thousands of countries, including some American things that relied heavily on Kaseya for
It's always
things.
good to see justice be served.
Oh yeah,
They
we all love
confiscated a
that,
bunch of money too. 426 million rubles
including cryptocurrency.
and cryptocurrency.
$600,000, 500,000, what is that, euros? Yeah, euros, as well as crypto wallets. Wonder what that looks like. Computer equipment, and 20 luxury cars obtained with the illicit money. Which, I wonder what that's must be like. As this bounces back after the government told of the United States, not Russia, who told Reuters that one of the arrested individuals was also behind a ransomware attack on the Colonial Pipeline, which kinda is still affecting the gas prices still. So that's why I tell people to still care about tech news, as they can affect gas prices.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, Morty. It's all connected. I'm losing myself. What? So
Okay, moving on. Moving on. So let's talk about Walmart and the metaverse.
yeah, so it was just 2 months ago, I think, that Facebook came up with its meta rebranding, and everyone had mixed responses to it because they're kind of hiding from all the legal trouble they're in right now with the FTC and the FCC and the government, or as a sidestep would call it, Joe Byron.
Joe Biden.
Eh, I'll
Yeah,
show you that after this.
can't wait.
But yeah, this note just depicts how the metaverse isn't really a new idea on paper, or I guess like a niche idea as a thing to put out, because we're back on the verge currently again for this piece. But this video from 2017, not this year,
Technology,
2017.
ancient technology.
That's so long ago. I don't remember anything from that year.
No. How
Anyway,
do you feel about this? So this the photo here that shows just it looks like a VR of you just picking up stuff from like a Walmart aisle and putting it in your VR cart, and it's like I don't know, it's giving you it's like oh, it's giving you a bunch of advertising and I don't know. This seems kind of lame to me. Like I don't know if I'd ever go shopping in the metaverse. Like
Yeah, I don't. No.
we have refrigerators that order
Mm.
food for us and shows up at our door when something runs out. I think this is kind of like if you really enjoy shopping, good for you. But like I'm just gonna buy the refrigerator that just sends stuff to my door.
Yeah.
So unless you're like a super fan of Walmart or a big shopping fan, I don't think anyone's gonna go to the metaverse to shop.
Like, I mean, for some people, they hate shopping so much that they get subscription services to get food for them, which I've actually contemplated doing for my family. Or like,
They
I
have
don't
like
have kids.
pre-made
I don't have
meals
kids,
that they
but
send you. Like what are those like subscription services that like give you
like
send you like a
HelloFresh.
box of yeah, like they send you like the box and then you have all the ingredients there, you just make it. And I'm like, that's even better than this. I don't know what I don't know.
Consistent.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what if you go into the virtual reality shop and they're out of, I don't know, tomato sauce that you want? What do you do? What do you do? You're not going to be able to
Amazon.
find a worker there and
They're like,
find it.
yo,
You're
I
gonna
think
miss the.
I've
You're
ordered
gonna,
like
yeah,
condiments from Amazon. I think I'd do that before I went to the metaverse. I think I don't know.
yeah, or just like I don't know, like wait for it to be restocked or ask around because when you have a virtual store, you're gonna miss the pride and joy out of asking someone tall to reach your Crispix box
Yeah.
or reach those Pop Tarts that are unfrosted that everyone
Have like
bullies you
live
for.
people in this metaverse like helping you shop in the in the VR set. Like you're gonna put on your VR goggles and like walk up to someone and someone else is gonna have VR goggles sitting at like Walmart and they're like like show you around the metaverse or something. I don't know. This is kind of funny.
Yeah, this
I work at Walmart and I work in the VR world and I help shoppers.
I can't picture how that would look as like is like would the Walmart worker just be at their house wearing their vest and the VR goggles also? And
It's
what?
gonna be like HoloLive where they have like those like
Oh God, yeah.
and they're gonna have like outfits and stuff and I don't know. It's gonna be that just sounds funny to me.
Like the idea of VR in itself, not the metaverse, VR,
And then
which this is all
you have to
divided
buy the
from.
VR too. So like
Yeah,
this I don't know. I'm just gonna go buy the smart fridge that restocks my fridge for me. And hopefully eventually I don't even have to go out into the out the front door and grab the food. Hopefully it's just like shipped right through my wall into my fridge. So I don't have to restock it.
yeah. So I like this piece about regarding what people will do with VR because it's kind of been around and people are starting to get kind of, I don't know, sedimentary about it, if that
I
makes
think if
sense.
Facebook really wants to make a go at it, they need to focus on social aspects. That's their wheelhouse. That's what they've been doing for years. I think they need to make it less invasive and more like have like social events in VR or like I don't
Work.
know,
Like you
interview
can
for
do work,
jobs in VR or
have career
yeah, work
fairs,
and
have
yeah.
conventions from it. There's
Um,
Facebook Live. There's a lot of stuff going on Facebook Live. Like I watch pieces about how there's more views on Facebook Live and or Facebook Watch
I think they
than
need to
on
push
YouTube.
into gaming, like push big gaming. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much potential for gaming, and like have like meetups for people that have similar interests, like have huge events, like maybe a metaverse party for all of the anime fans or something.
Yeah,
I,
we'll continue a conversation about metaverse material as we go along this year,
oh
as
my
more
goodness, maybe we'll
conversations
make
will
a
probably come
special
up
metaverse
regarding
special
this.
ideas or
More
something.
ideas, more ideas will come up about this, my friend. But speaking of big deals that have happened this year, uh, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard for the total by the little total of $68.7 billion.
Oh, only 68.7 billion.
And well, actually, this ties in with the metaverse because Satya Nadali says the deal will play a key role in development of metaverse platforms.
Nice, nice.
That's a weird tie-in, but here we
Yeah, it
go.
was, but like, I
Uh,
can actually trust the metaverse now that Microsoft is making stuff for it. Is that what we're thinking?
Potentially, because this is the Microsoft CEO that said that. As he said, quote, with this investment, we're investing deeply in world-class content, community, and the cloud to usher in a new era of gaming that puts players and creators first and makes gaming safe, inclusive, and accessible. I mean, that's a lot of buzzwords, and Microsoft is the same company that had some hiccups in the past, such as the Kinect and the Kinect putting the Kinect on the Xbox One, which has since closed production. So
Yeah.
they're not
I
even
don't
you're not
I
even
don't think
getting
they
them
needed
anymore.
to make the Connect. I think that was kind of a waste of time, but I mean, I think they just did to be competitive with what was it, the Wii U or whatever? What did they have? The whole Wii, wasn't it? Just like everything was like interactive.
No, that was the eighth, ninth generation console battle. But
It was kind of
and
funny.
long story short, Nintendo won, and everyone else tried to catch up, and they failed catching up.
No, no, no. I think Microsoft just needed to stick to their wheelhouse. They didn't have to, tag along
Exactly,
for the
they
ride.
didn't have to do it.
They had they had like a bunch of great exclusives. They had uh, you know, they had AAA games that were like just really good. I
They'll
think they
have
just
more with this
tried too
deal.
hard to keep up with the new gen stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
they always.
they
Yeah,
should have waited till they found something really cool and just like, oh yeah, this would be great for Connect or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, because it's Phil Spencer and I guess this new guy Satya Nadella going over this because this was in response after what drum up 2020 and 2021 of a toxic culture of constant sexual harassment at Activision Blizzard, as well as after the company reached a $18 million settlement back in September for with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So, in a way, I wonder if I want to be on Microsoft's side and say, oh, they're definitely going to fix the culture here, but Microsoft Um, they're not breaking any antitrust laws here, people. I'll say that much.
Well, I
As
trust Microsoft to do the right thing, and they're a
just
pretty big
for the
company, and they
workers, for the workers is what
yeah. And
that's what the crux of this started with.
I
As
think a big problem is that people are expecting too much from big companies like that. I don't think they can control everything. They can do
yeah,
their best to help out though. But I trust Microsoft to push things in the right direction, especially in the gaming side of things. They got a lot of money and they can throw it wherever they want, and they've been doing good so far. So can't wait to see what comes out of that.
yeah. And this isn't the first acquisition Microsoft's done recently, as it was just back in 2016 that they acquired LinkedIn, which consequently is how I talk and network for work, as well as
Good acquisition.
this acquisition itself, which they said will come full circle and close by 2023, this purchase got them the publishing rights potentially to franchises like the Warcraft franchise, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty or COD, and Candy Crush, your mother's favorite game, as well as
Hilarious.
upcoming releases of other software companies such as those under Rare Games, which you older watchers out there might know Rare Games as being the people that made Conker's Bad Fur Day, as well as Banjo and Kazooie. As well as this could also help them with their Xbox Game Pass, having those titles on that Game Pass legally and saying, yes, Diablo 2, you want to play it on the Game Pass? Here you go. Which the Game Pass is essentially streaming but for gaming across devices. But
I can't wait to see what Microsoft does with all those new acquisitions. So let's hop into this video that I put on here. This is really cool. So this is a video about holograms. It's by CNET. It's called "Real Holograms Are Finally Here," and they look very cool. So if you guys want to check that out, it's over on YouTube. CNET, CNET.
All caps.
Yeah, all caps. So this Lightfield Lab is the company. They
Mhm.
made holograms is what the video is talking about, and like I've always been really interested in holograms, and uh, I think they could do some really cool stuff with like these like what they made here. So I recommend going and checking out this video. In the video, they just have like a lizard, like I think it's a iguana, in like a display, and they're
The
just yeah,
chameleon.
they're just talking about how cool it is, and like they're like, oh yeah, this looks real 3D. You can see it from a bunch of different angles, and I think this has a lot of potential to push technology into the future. Imagine switching from a TV to a like a hollow TV or whatever, where you can see things in 3D. You can watch a show from 3D from any angle.
Yeah, it makes me kind of reminisce about, those Marvel movies all you plebs like watching. No, I'm joking. But those holograms in movies like the Iron Man franchise, where Robert Downey Jr. is like waving his hands around and he's like messing around with stuff. And that was back in 2010 when the most technologically advanced thing we had was like the iPhone 2.
Well, I'm
So
excited to see this not only push forward in like
encapsulate it all.
media and like viewing technology. Like so, if you remember from like Iron Man, where he's like in his lab building something in like a CAD program that's made of holograms. I think that's really cool. I think that's going to push technology forward, and uh, it's great for presenting your idea. So like,
Certainly it will.
so I think this is really cool. I'm excited about it.
With the growth of visual technology and everything, I'm leaning on more interest in what this can go rather than what metaverses can go. Because
And can you imagine gaming with like a hollow display? Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
yeah, just less with the ugly VR headsets and more just like right there without needing a headset.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you could walk into the room and then just be like a huge hollow projector, and you're just like,
I want to live to see that,
that would
where
be awesome.
I can just tap my table and I'm playing ping pong or something with like someone else that's playing ping pong virtually. Like
We'll
it'll
have to
just
keep a
project
close eye on
something.
this company because they seem to be doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah, this is a Silicon Valley startup, and again, you can find this video on YouTube on the CNET YouTube channel. And our last piece of the day is regarding two takes on what's going on with Norton Antivirus 360 and crypto mining. So, one take is on Linus Tech Tips YouTube channel, and the other is on The Verge. Again, so
Did you watch the crypto one from Linus Tech Tips?
yeah,
They have
and
a lot of I think they just dig it a new one. They're like this is crap. And like they start out by talking about just Norton antivirus in general, and how if you have it, just get rid of it. It slows down your PC. Uh, it's never been really that trusted as antivirus software. They've done some sketchy things in the past. But then they go into just like let's take a actual look at this software and just how it performs. So first off, they talk about the the price points. So like first of all, you have to buy the full subscription. I think it's like a premium subscription, and
Mhm.
I think it was like $35. And then once you start mining, you it's a 15% share is what uh Norton the company gets. They get 15% of your profits. And I can't remember if this was on the Linus one or not. I think it was on the article where they said they tried mining with it, but they barely broke even.
Yeah, they said in real numbers, a night of mining on the RTX 3060 Ti, which is a pretty good graphics card, I would say, netted 0.66 cents worth of Ethereum and cost 0.66 cents in off-peak electricity, and Norton in this case took all the profit.
That's crazy. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's like huge because like I remember when I was mining Ethereum with my 1660 on my gaming PC, I think I would only have to pay like a third of the profits in electricity costs. So that's crazy.
So, because in their terms of service, which The Verge dives deep into, it goes into detail about how they say in the terms of service that it's running a mining pool which combines everybody's computing power to increase the chances of mining a block. And when that happens, everybody who's contributed power gets a share of the reward. And that reward is what Norton is taking the cut out of.
Yeah.
These pool operators do often take a cut or fee for bringing everyone together, of course, as the fees are usually again closer to 1 or 2%, but again, this case it's 15%, which has people upset about, alongside the usual bad press that no one gets these days with taking up again the resources on the computer. Now it's going to take more if you have a graphics card on a laptop. Like, I imagine this affecting casual workers more than like someone with gaming rigs or into that sort of space of things like me and Mike here. As
I'm trying to think of like a use case for this. Is there ever a case there's never a case where I'd actually use Norton anti
embedded in her by default, which they got off. Which
Yeah.
when even some Joe
PC
Bless
down.
money,
Yeah, slows your
when
PT
even
down.
he says get rid of it, buddy, then that's how renowned this is, people. If you have no one, just be wary of that and be known of that. But
I think
what
the
else
only
is Line
use
to say
case
about this?
I can see only use case I can see for this, right, is if you're at work and your boss says it's okay to mine, right? And like
Yeah,
maybe you're not spending power on it because it's solar powered or something. Maybe your company uses solar. I don't know. That's the only use case I can think of for you using this. And maybe you're maybe not super technically inclined. I mean, you don't even have to be that technically inclined to set up your own like miner. Like I did it. I literally watched a few YouTube videos and set up my own miner on my PC on Windows, and then I did my own mining rig with Hive OS operating system, and it wasn't that hard. So yeah, I can't think of a real use case for this at all.
because going deeper into this in the Verge piece, they deposit your cut of the Ethereum into a known crypto wallet, but if you want to use it or exchange it for flat, it says fiat currency. Fiat currency. You'll have to cash it out. Currently, the only option to do that is by transferring it to a Coinbase account. However, doing so will make a transaction fee, which will be charged by the Ethereum network
So
people
not only are you
themselves.
locked into the 15%, you're locked into the fiat account, and you're locked into this transaction fee. Oh my gosh,
Charged
that's
by
insane.
Ethereum network themselves, which could mean, again, you'd have to mine a lot of crypto before making any financial sense. And that's sense in both different spellings of it to
Yeah.
withdraw it from a Norton wallet.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
that that is just, I mean, I've seen jokes online about how this makes them worse, about how they've become the malware that they
Yeah,
were supposed
they
to,
are.
stop
The malware.
being, they're supposed to stop.
Their new catchphrase is "We are the malware."
We are the malware now,
The
boys.
only malware you need. So
Uh,
yeah, in conclusion, I'd say the only way you get this is if you're at work and you can't get rid of Norton because your company makes you keep it, and your boss says it's okay to mine it. Maybe you're like doing like pizza night and like you're mining for pizza money or something,
something
and
or like office
your whole
events.
company's on solar, so like it's not like you're spending money on power. That's the only way I can think this would be, and like you don't want to go into the whole process of setting something up.
Yeah, like I wonder if we'll get cases before this month ends, Mike, where it'll be like a guy illegally mining and using Norton on a campus site, like
Campus, yeah, you're at school and you're
yeah,
mining.
like a kind of big company like Barracuda Networks or a startup in Silicon Valley.
Didn't they say it's hard to get rid of? Like I
Yeah,
think they said it's hard to get rid of Norton. or they like turn it off once it's on there.
Yeah, it's not really a point blank way to turn it off. It's harder than
I think there's a
turning off
roundabout way.
location services.
Yeah, I think there's a roundabout way to turn it off, but it sounds annoying as hell.
Yeah, me and Mike will definitely keep our eyes on this if more any
It'll
viruses
be
choose to
interesting. I'm
become.
sure a good story will come out of this eventually.
Oh yeah, we'll keep an eye on this as well in case more antiviruses decide to become what they were sworn to destroy. As a one Twitter
Funny.
user I saw a comment with, but yeah, it's some interesting stories right off the bat in 2022. I should give that to you, 2022. You're showing us some
Some news potential.
some news potential and some good tech from the CES show, as well as some justice for what REvil did to a bunch of companies and countries. So all around, it's gonna be an interesting year, I think, for tech. I mean, I say that every year, but with
Well,
the
I'm
new chip
excited to see
plant,
what happens.
with the new chip plant and everything, Microsoft, that one is probably gonna get some people in my circle upset if like they can't get any Diablo games on PS5 or something now, but they have to still uphold their original agreements. So if the Diablo guys said it's going on all platforms and then they get bought out, they have to still uphold that agreement that the Diablo dude said, or lady. I don't know who runs Diablo.
Yeah, whoever's the Diablo head, whoever's in charge of that.
Who's the head director of Diablo? Please DM me and
Yeah, let us
tell me
know.
I'm wrong. But yeah, that's our recording for today, everyone.
Oh, guys, thanks for listening.
Be sure to give us a like, a share, and send this to whoever you think wants to listen to this, or is just intrigued to hear about the latest in tech news, or wants to be involved with news that isn't negative all the time, like the current news.
Yeah, and stay vigilant, guys.
Stay vigilant, everyone, and stay safe.